So Andrew, so we met fairly recently, only the last few months or so. And I'm really looking forward. Andrew and I are actually co-trainers along with Linda, the next head of food practitioner training. So I'm really looking forward to having some fun with you and whoever decides to join us there. So without further ado, Andrew.
It's sitting too long. Stiff. So, hello. The last of almost last. Cool. So, Linda and I met on Tuesday, and we kind of talked about what Linda was going to say and what I was going to say, and then I get this email on Thursday that changes everything. So, my boss sent an email out that had a YouTube video in it, which was of an East Carolina University running back doing all his preseason training, doing his ladder drills, doing his agility drills, and so on and so forth. And I do what I usually do when I get bored with YouTube videos, is I look down the right-hand side and I see what might make them more interesting. Because I've done ladder drills and agility drills infinitum ad nauseam. And so I clicked on the inch-by-inch speech from Any Given Sunday that Al Pacino does. And then I clicked on the rugby version of the inch-by-inch speech, which is an ad for the Heineken Cup in Europe. And then I clicked on this other one that was a mashup of different inspirational bits from sports films. And it led with this quote: "Somewhere behind the athlete you become, the hours of practice, the coaches who push you, the teammates who believe in you, and the fans who cheer for you, there is the little boy who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for him." I'm an artist and an athlete, and depending on my audience, I lean with one or the other. You guys got this one first. And regardless of the order, whether I start with storyteller or rugby player, once upon a time football player, I am a creature driven by hope. And for me, hope is this big bucket, different layers, different things, and hope is dreams, and hope is wishes, and hope is falling in love. And I remember my 6-year-old self. I got tickets to the Labor Day game in Calgary, which is the Calgary Stampeders against the Edmonton Eskimos, every single year. And 1977, when the Calgary couldn't beat Edmonton to save their lives, I sat up in the 35th row of the band stadium, and they were just limping and fell in love with the game. Fast forward 12 years, and I'm walking out the tunnel at McMahon with my helmet in my hand and my shoulder pads on and all the rest of my kit. And I'm coming down this tunnel, about to start my first experience with two-a-days, which all the stories you've heard about how much hell they are true. Wanting, hoping to repeat that walk again and again and again. And 9 months later, the end result is that. National championship ring. You have to change the hope to a want. You have to marry the want to the intention. And then you have to go to work. And I mean, the question was, do you lead with hope or do you lead with truth? Well, you need to harness the hope, and coaches and captains need to get the work done to get to something like that. And you can't lie to them. You can't say it's not going to be a hard slog, because it is. But you grab onto the hope, and you use it to push. At the start of all my rehearsals, when I'm directing, I start, kind of like I did 5 minutes ago, with, God, I don't remember what the hell it is I'm doing. And my cast, those in my cast who haven't worked with me before, had the same thought. Geez, I hope he knows what he's doing. And we all have the hope. God, I hope we're good. at the start of rehearsal, and sometimes in the middle, a company of actors is imbued with the hope by the words the playwrights created, the director's vision, that little hope of genius. And then I set the expectation. I tell my company we are going to be very good. And then we get to work. And so for the next for the whole rehearsal period, whether it was 6 weeks, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 3.5, 4 months, I then have to beg, cajole, carry, catch, be ready with the Kleenex box, and otherwise just support my cast's work as they strive towards being very good and that little hope of genius. We talk about, in NLP, we talk about resilient goals. That's not the clock that's ringing, I thought it was ringing today. We talk about resilient goals. And for me, a resilient goal is built on hope and has hope built in. And the outcomes that are the stepping stones on the way to that goal are the actionable steps in realizing that goal, in doing the work to get to where we want to go. And I will leave you with this. There is a wee, small, little, tiny rugby tournament being played in New Zealand right now. Okay, I will do this. Yep, there we go. And there are teams down there that aren't necessarily expected to do anything. They're not expected to win. They're not expected to proceed. They're not expected to survive past the end of this month. But each of them step down that tunnel onto that field with the hope of making history. And that hope allows them and can allow you to reach for that unreachable star and dream the impossible dream and grab onto it and hold it.